Now, from the station on your side, this is Wavy News 10.
Water that just wouldn't go away. Neighbors felt trapped in their homes and called 10 on your side.
I hated that I had to do that, but I felt pushed into the corner. I felt like I was being ignored.
What happened when we got involved? Plus, a settlement for veterans who drank tainted water, but not everyone's getting help.
I think that I'm being cheated.
And blackouts on purpose? Why Dominion says it's trying to keep the lights on for all, but sees a problem in the future.
And new tonight, a 10 on your side success story. A Portsmouth woman reached out to us, feeling trapped in her own home.
She says for more than a week, street flooding prevented her from driving anywhere. 10 on your side's Liz Kilmer stepped in, and now our neighborhood is clear, Liz.
Yeah, that's right. Dawn Perry says that she had phoned the city day after day, hoping that someone could come in and clear her streets' clogged storm drains. Well, it wasn't until we made that call that Public Works crews came out and fixed the problem within just a couple of hours.
But it normally drains off.
But not this time on Berland Road, where the two storm drains by Dawn Perry's home were too clogged to detect.
But do you see this little square right there? That's where the storm drain is, and there's one directly across from it.
Perry says the drains were backed up even before the weekend snowstorm, and even more so afterwards, leaving behind pools of stagnant water full of the neighborhood's unraked leaves.
It's about 9 there. I don't know what it is over there farther.
Closer to the foot of her driveway, she measured nearly a foot of water. With her cars parked beside the home, she's been unable to leave since last week.
It's just restrictive. Fortunately, I haven't had any medical issues that I've had to take care of.
Perry says she called the city multiple times before calling 10 on your side. We reached out to officials for answers, and within about an hour, a Public Works crew pulled up, sucking out water and clearing away leaves. We watched as the water got lower and lower and lower.
Yay! Well, that's terrific. Well, thank you for your help.
By about 7 o'clock, the water was gone, allowing Perry the freedom to finally leave her home after calling 10 on your side.
I hated that I had to do that, but I felt pushed into the corner. I felt like I was being ignored. Well, whatever it takes, I'm glad it's done.
Now, as you saw there, a lot of leaves got jammed up in those storm drains. In Portsmouth, it is illegal to rake leaves into or onto the street or any drains. If you have questions about leaf disposal in the city, you can call the Waste Management Office. We'll post that information for you on wavy.com. I'm Liz Kilmer, 10 on your side.
Looking ahead to your weekend, we're in for a wet start.
Yeah, might want to take an umbrella because parts of our area will see some rain off and on tomorrow, but Chief Meteorologist Don Slater is here to say it will not be a washout.
No, it won't be. And I've got a better idea. Instead of raking them into the street, just rake them over to your neighbors.
Oh,
it works for me.
Not a popular.
Take a look at what's
big.
going on out there right now. It's cool out there. After having some warm weather, 73 yesterday, it was 63 degrees this morning early. And, of course, temperatures dropped during the afternoon. It's into the low to mid-40s right now. And we're going to drop a little bit more during the overnight hours. It'll likely drop on down to around 38, 39 degrees. Here's where things are during the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. It'll drop to about 38, 39, then come back up to about 43 degrees by tomorrow morning at 7. And really the temperature is going to be the big thing coming up for tomorrow. Be in the mid-40s, low to mid-40s during the day tomorrow, 41 to 44 degrees. But we've also got a chance of some rainfall for the area. And this has been kind of bumping on up a little bit. Even in the past hour, this is bumped up. 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, then between 1 and 3. Really pretty decent shot at seeing some rainfall into the area. Right smack dab into the middle of the day and early afternoon. Good chance at seeing some rain. It's not going to be all that much as far as rainfall. It's likely to be only a few hundredths of an inch of rain, but nonetheless, it is a chance of rain. It's not going to be a steady rainfall either in 3 100ths, 4 100ths, not a real big amount of rain for a big amount of time, for a big length of time. We'll talk more about what we can expect for tomorrow and the rest of the weekend coming up in just a few minutes.
Well, many students enjoyed playing in the snow with their 3 days off, but now they'll have to make it up. Virginia Beach is turning President's Day in February and March 8th into school days. Norfolk is having class on January 31st and March 3rd. Chesapeake is changing January 27th from an early release day into a full day and having class on the 30th and the 31st of this month. Suffolk says students will now have class February 13th and 20th and March 15th. So far, Portsmouth and Newport News have have not made any decisions. We're also waiting to hear back from Hampton schools.
And we have new details on an hours-long standoff. Police charged the man who barricaded himself inside his hotel room in Norfolk yesterday. Clifton Newsome now faces gun charges. Officers in Chesapeake tried to arrest him on outstanding rape and other charges at the Econo Lodge on Shore Drive. Now, some of that standoff played out on Facebook Live, even Newsome surrendering peacefully.
Former Virginia Delegate Phil Hamilton's family says that he was attacked in prison. His daughter, Meredith Hamilton Archer, wrote on Facebook that her dad was viciously assaulted on Christmas Eve morning. She says he was beaten with a padlock in a sock. Hamilton is serving a 10-year sentence for bribery and extortion. He was convicted in 2011 of securing a job at ODU that he helped create with taxpayer money. His daughter says he's appealing.
Lawmakers in Washington are one step closer to repealing Obamacare. Today, the House passed a budget bill without Democratic support, and 9 Republicans also broke from the party to vote no. The next step to getting rid of the Affordable Care Act involves committees in both the House and Senate. They will write a bill to directly repeal the law, but that could take weeks. Also new at 11, the Senate Intelligence Committee says it will review claims of Russia interfering in the presidential election. Senators Republican Richard Burr of North Carolina and Virginia Democrat Mark Warner say the investigation will focus on Russian cyber activity and active measures against the U.S. The committee says it will release both a classified and unclassified report on what it finds.
10 legislators in North Carolina want President-elect Trump's administration to shut down a nearly complete $400 million wind farm. Why? Because they believe it possesses a national security risk. And they say the turbines will interfere with a long-distance Navy radar, which comes from Chesapeake. But the Navy says the wind farm does not interfere with the radar. The company says it's gone through 6 years of permits, and it's done everything the government has asked.
The Defense Department already has a detailed review process. We went through it. It was robust. It was rigorous. It was thorough. It works.
This wind farm is out there, and those huge turbines are, 500 feet in the air, are in the way of this radar.
The company is only days from flipping the switch to make the wind farm operational. The 104 wind towers are supposed to provide millions of dollars in income to the local economy. New tonight, some homeless advocates say the fight to end veteran homelessness is not over. Now, Governor Terry McAuliffe repeated during his State of the Commonwealth address that Virginia was the first state to functionally end veteran homelessness. Richard Hughes with Warm Streets says the state can only find homeless veterans staying at a shelter. He says there's no way for even the governor to count the veterans still on the streets or maybe sleeping on a buddy's couch.
It's like declaring victory when the war's not over, But the war, it won't really be over because there will always be vets. Like the soldier today is a vet tomorrow, right? And some of them, most of them, hopefully will get good jobs and they'll go on. Some of them will wind up on the street.
Virginia goes by HUD guidelines. A veteran is only considered not homeless if they're staying in permanent homes, not just shelters.
A former Norfolk State University employee is now suing the school over what she says is racial discrimination. Edie Rogan is white and claims the historically black college favors black employees and did not renew her contract based on her race. Rogan worked as the director of human resources there in 2012 and says staffers called her a racial slur and other names, including white devil. She's suing for $750,000 plus back pay and other fees.
Some veterans will get a part of a $2.2 billion settlement after possibly being exposed to contaminated drinking water. The military says 900,000 service members may have been exposed between 1953 and 1987 at Camp Lejeune, but not all are getting the money. Norfolk resident Keith English lived at Camp Lejeune for 2 years. Decades later, he's dealing with throat, mouth, and lung cancer. He applied for benefits but was denied.
Because they're saying these cancers, but not your cancers.
Exactly. But my cancer was definitely the consequence of being exposed to that contaminated water.
English says he doesn't want the money. He just wants his cancers to be considered service-connected disability. English says that way he can provide for his family once he's gone.
And the family of a man killed by Newport News police is expecting a $6,700 settlement. Kwanzaa Beatty's family was in federal court today. The Commonwealth's attorney says a Newport News officer shot and killed Beatty after he refused to drop a sawed-off shotgun and pointed it at another officer in July of 2015. Last February, the Commonwealth's attorney cleared police of wrongdoing. Beatty's family had filed a $10 million wrongful death lawsuit.
Money can't bring my son back at all, period. My son is gone. He's been gone about to be 2 years now. I couldn't get no one to come forward.
The family's attorney said they did not have enough new information to take this to trial. The judge did not approve the settlement today because it's not clear who the money will go to yet.
Portsmouth police are investigating an armed robbery. This was the scene earlier at the Advanced America on Victory Boulevard. Police say around 4:30 a man came in armed with a gun, and we have surveillance photos from inside the store. According to police, the man demanded money, then ran away. Fortunately, no one was hurt. If you recognize the man in these photos, give the crime line a call.
Virginia Beach police are looking for 21-year-old Ryan Benson. Police say he stole from the Miller Mart on London Bridge Road last month. He's also facing a trespassing charge because he had been banned from the property.
Newport News police need your help finding a man they think is responsible for several robberies. They're looking for 28-year-old Craig Alexander. He's wanted on charges of robbery and use of a firearm and commission of a felony. If you know anything about his whereabouts, call the crime line.
Dominion Power looks ahead to increased power demands on the peninsula. Why they're hoping for the best, but planning for the worst.
A fire tears through the home with a family of 6 inside. Hear what saved them.
And new tonight, showing the impact of gun violence in a different way. An artist's work to make neighborhoods safer.
And start your weekends off with the latest news and weather.
Tune in to Wavy News 10 today. It starts at 6 a.m.
You're watching Wavy News 10 at 11 with Tom Shedd, Anita Blanton, Chief Meteorologist Don Slater, and Bruce Rader with sports.
Planned blackouts on the peninsula? Dominion Power says the next few years will tax the area's power supply. The power company says that it had to develop a plan in case of a blackout, and that means managing power loss. The Yorktown Coal plant will close in April. Without it, if power fails on the peninsula, they'll have no source of backup power. So they put a plan together. Dominion will control any possible blackouts across the peninsula.
We will have to flip switches, and it could drop as many as 150,000 customers with or without notice in order to make sure that it doesn't get worse.
The long-term solution is to build a high-powered transmission line across the James River, but historic and environmental groups oppose building over the scenic river.
And new tonight, a state senator wants Virginia electric rates reviewed. Chap Peterson says customers could be missing out on savings from President-elect Donald Trump's promise to scrap the Clean Power Plan. His issue is with a 2-year-old law that prevents the state from lowering or raising the utility's base rate for several years. Dominion believes there will be some form of carbon regulation even if Trump scraps that law.
Smoke from a massive fire at a Knott's Island home could be seen for miles. Investigators are still trying to figure out what started it. Firefighters from Virginia Beach went to help. One was hurt, but not badly. Now a family of 6 is forced out. Neighbors told us they were sleeping and woke up this morning hearing cackling. Thankfully for the family inside the home, another sound woke them up and saved their lives.
The smoke detectors did their job, alerted the occupants. Smoke detectors are your best friend. Smoke is a poisonous gas with carbon monoxide and all kinds of dangerous chemicals, and the smoke will kill you before the fire does.
The family says the same firefighters who worked to put out the flames are actually the ones who gave them the smoke detectors.
If you are heading out tonight in Newport News, officers want you to know that they are too. The police department is stepping up DUI patrols all weekend long. Officers will be working from 8:30 each night through 2:30 in the morning. A safety grant from the DMV will pay for their overtime.
Tomorrow you have another chance to get a job. It's Lidl's second day of a public hiring event in Norfolk. Lidl is one of the world's largest retailers. If you're interested in a job, the company is holding a job fair tomorrow at the Sheraton Norfolk Waterside Hotel all day from 8 in the morning until 7 at night. The company says store supervisors could make $17.50 an hour plus benefits.
Using an art to raise awareness to end gun violence. That's the goal behind an art show in Norfolk. It's called Under the Gun. It opened today at Work Release in Norfolk's Neon District. It features local artists, and it's an opportunity to talk about gun violence and its impact on our community. The show is sponsored by several Norfolk faith groups.
Very connected. And what we want to do is be the balm in Gilead and heal those that are hurting, and if they are broken, help mend them and give them comfort and love, and sort of speak to the culture that we need to find ways to solve problems without guns being the solution, because they're not the solution.
The exhibit runs through February 4th, and there are programs to help get the conversation going, including a brunch tomorrow with police officers, activists, and faith leaders happening from noon to 4. You can find a link and more information on wavy.com.
Now, your Super Doppler 10 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
It's going to be a little bit of a cool weekend. Now, we are going to see some showers come through the area during the day tomorrow, but not that much. It's not going to be an all-day washout. It's going to be very, very light rainfall, and it won't be constant. Let's get to it. Have a look at what's going on. Here is the wide picture of everything. Again, there's no rainfall in our area quite yet, but we are likely to see some coming up during the day tomorrow. Could even be a stray shower overnight, but it's all going to be widely scattered, so not everybody's going to get an all-day rain, or not anybody's going to get an all-day rain, and we're not likely to see a lot of rain, 1/100th up to about 4/100ths of an inch of rain. The bigger rain is going to be out up toward the D.C. area, and they even get a little bit of snow mixed in at the beginning as it starts moving on through. Here's where things are at midnight: 42, 43, 44, and that's where we are. We're at 42, and there's where we are tomorrow morning at 7. You can see again up toward the top of the picture on the D.C. area. They are likely to get a little bit of a mixture of rain, sleet, and snow, then all rain up there. And then we start to see a little bit of rainfall popping up here and there at 11 o'clock, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, at 3 in the afternoon, seeing a little bit of rain. But thereafter, it's pretty well gone through the area, and it's not likely to be hugely widespread all day. It's not going to be a washout. And it's going to be the kind of thing where you, carry an umbrella, but you won't need it for most of the day. Here's where things are by 7 o'clock on Sunday morning. And Sunday during the day, this forecast model has got things clearing on out. Some other forecast models, though, do have a little bit of a spot of rain remaining into the area for the day on Sunday, but not that awfully much. Here's where things are 7 o'clock in the evening on Sunday. Now we've had a long weekend, so we'll go all the way on into Monday, show you what's going on. It's still going to be a chilly day, 7 o'clock in the morning. You can see some rain on off to our northwest, and there's where we are by 3 in the afternoon. Temperatures again remaining into the 40s during the day coming up on Monday. As far as what's going on out there, you can see road traffic and river traffic and air traffic through the area. And it's a chilly night, 42 to 45 degrees. We're 20 degrees cooler than what we had this morning, early in the morning, 45, 46 degrees on this graphic. And on this map, again, between around, 41, 42, up to about 46 degrees into the area. It's warmer on off to the west. The colder air dropped on in from the north and has cooled things off for us, but not completed its journey a little bit farther southward. So some of this warmer air will actually create a little bit of scattered rainfall for the day tomorrow. Mostly cloudy. It'll be breezy occasionally and cooler. Northeast winds 10 to 15 and a little gusty at times. We're at 42 right now, so it'll drop to about 38, 41 degrees for an overnight low. During the day tomorrow, again, we will see some rainfall, but it's not likely to be a washout. Scattered showers from around 2 in the afternoon, or from around 11 o'clock in the morning through around 4 in the afternoon. Northerly winds at 10 to 15. It'll likely be into the low to mid 40s. And for the peninsula, again, a few scattered showers. Carry an umbrella, not needed very much at all during the day. That northerly breeze, and it'll be around 40, 43 degrees during the day coming up for tomorrow. So around 43 for tomorrow. Good chance of rain, but not a washout. And again, very, very light. 45 degrees coming up on Sunday. Some sunshine and some cloud cover. Martin Luther King Day around 48 degrees, and then into the 60s for Tuesday through Friday of next week.
A group of fairy godmothers is coming to the rescue this weekend.
How they're making sure the price of the prom doesn't keep girls from going. Local fairy godmothers are making sure that all girls who can't afford a dress still have one for the prom.
Love this story. Wendy Baylor collected 3,500 gowns from all over the state. Today at Norfolk State University, she let girls try them on and take them away for just $10. Baylor says she's seen firsthand how the price of prom can affect young women.
I've been a high school teacher and I've seen girls struggle to meet the demands of prom and how expensive it is to go to prom.
I don't have a ton of money to buy a total brand new one. When I heard about this, it was a great idea.
Well, the Fairy Godmother Project is open this weekend at the Norfolk State University Student Center from noon until 7, but they'll only accept cash.
A World Series winning manager was in town today. A former William & Mary player introduced as coach of the Buffalo Bills. And speaking of the Tribe, they had perhaps the best play in the country tonight.